everyone, it's Allie and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be going over my winter fragrances. I have 6 fragrances today that are going to be in my winter rotation. These are the ones that I know I'm going to be gravitating towards now that it's starting to get really cold. It's starting to snow here in my area and it's getting super chilly. And as you guys know, sometimes fragrance can get lost, especially when it's so cold out. So sometimes you need a fragrance that's going to pack a punch and will really cut through the cold. And today I have 6 fragrances that I already feel like cut through the cold beautifully. These are ones that have worked really well in cold weather. These are ones that I find very sexy and very mysterious and just resinous and just dense and heavy. And those are typically the type of fragrances that I gravitate towards when it's like super cold out. I really love dense, heavy-hitting fragrances. And I have 6 of them, like I said, that I think are really good options. The first one that I'm going to talk about is one that I've talked about a little bit in the past, and this is from BDK Parfums, and this one is called Tobacco Rose. Now this one has notes of plum, you have pink pepper, you have Italian lemon, Turkish rose, chocolate, cinnamon, tobacco. You have patchouli leaf and Spanish. You've got Spanish labdanum or labdanum. I can never say it right. This is gorgeous. If you are a fan of, not Baccarat Rouge. I don't know why all of a sudden I thought of Baccarat Rouge. Of, oh gosh, what is that fragrance called? I have it. Oud Bouquet, there we go. I don't know why it was slipping my mind. I'm like, what is this fragrance called? If you are a fan of Oud Bouquet by Maison Lancôme, then you will probably like this one. The only difference between this one and Oud Bouquet is that there is this greenness added into this fragrance because of the rose. This is a green rose in my opinion, and it adds a unique touch to the fragrance. Some people might smell this and think it smells a little weird because it's sort of dense and deep, and then you have this weird greenness that just sort of shoots out, especially in the beginning. But trust me when I tell you, if you let this settle, it is an oudy, chocolatey, sexy scent. It is so delicious. It's so unique. I personally love the inclusion of this sort of greenness added into the fragrance. I've said it before, I'm a big fan of green fragrances. I love green fragrances. I love smelling natural a lot of the time. And I love the inclusion of a green note in this. It adds a uniqueness that's really odd smelling. I will say it's very odd smelling. I feel a lot of people might be put off by this unique green rosy touch, even though this is such a dense, sweet, more resinous-y fragrance. It's very unique. It's a little odd. Some people might translate this greenness as sort of a BO. I know when I first smelt it, I was like, that kind of smells like sweat in a weird way, and I wasn't sure how to feel about it, but the more I worked with this fragrance, the more beautiful it is. Trust me, it's definitely one to check out. Definitely not a safe blind buy, like by any means. Don't go out and just blind buy this bad boy. Definitely get a sample, try it out. It is unique. It took me a few wearings to really get in the vibe of this. But you know what? This is really upscale. This is elegant. This is sexy. Every time I wear it, I'm just like, who is she? She is here. She smells good. She feels good. She is just classy. I feel this is such a classy fragrance. Easily unisex, leaning slightly more feminine, but I feel like a man could rock this. A woman could rock this. Anybody could rock this. Wear what you want, my peeps. The next one that I'm going to talk about is one from Jean Paul Gaultier, and this one is called La Belle. This one got a lot of hype when it first came out, and for good reason. It is a really beautiful, sweet fragrance. I honestly really do love this. I've had it for a while. I haven't busted it out just because I've been waiting for it to get colder, but this is gorgeous. If you love pear, bergamot, floral notes, leather, vanilla, vetiver, amber, and musk, then this is the one for you. This is such a sweet bomb. But it is so sexy, so playful. That juicy pear opening is just so gorgeous, and it's brightened by this bergamot burst. As it settles down, you get these floral nuances, and it sits on such a lovely vetiver and ambery vanilla base. I personally really love this. I think it's super sexy. I love that there's the inclusion of vetiver. You don't find vetiver in a lot of female fragrances. Typically, it's a wood that's associated a lot more with men's fragrances, at least in my opinion, at least from what I've seen. I love the inclusion of vetiver in this. I think it adds a really smooth, well-rounded base. This is really, really sexy. It's a little woody. It's very sweet. It's juicy pear. It's dense. It's so beautiful. The sillage you leave with this fragrance is so addictive. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. And if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. I am curious about the intense or the newer version of it. I haven't gotten my nose on it yet, but if it's anything similar to this, I'm probably gonna love it. I really do love this one, and I think they did a fabulous job when it came to La Belle. The next one that we're going to talk about is one that was sort of a blind buy. I bought it because I really liked the bottle, not going to lie. And this one is called I am going to butcher this, L'Amoureux Les Infinis. Who? I have no clue, people, but look how gorgeous that bottle is. It's a heavy glass bottle. It's got a magnetic cap, and you guys know I'm a sucker for a magnetic cap. And I will say, I saw the bottle and I was immediately intrigued. I wanted to have it. I was like, that is gorgeous. I love the freaking dragonfly on it. I was like, everything about that bottle is just cool. So I ended up blind buying it, and I've been finding that this has been really nice in the winter time because it is a lot denser. It is a bit heavier, and it just cuts through the cold, and it does it really beautifully. This is a really interesting one. You've got strawberry, you've got apple, peas, freesia, you've got jasmine, rose, raspberry, sandalwood, and amber in this fragrance. And not gonna lie, this fragrance to me has sort of like a familiar resemblance to Elie Saab's Girl of Now. They're not the same fragrance by any means, but like I feel like this could be classified under the same kind of like fragrance family as that fragrance. It almost smells like this could be a cousin to that fragrance. One that's denser, a little bit smokier, a little deeper. When you spray this, you get that juiciness from the fruits. You've got that strawberry, that raspberry, that apple. The apple really adds a brightness to the fragrance. As it settles down, it starts becoming a little bit more resinousy, a little bit deeper. It sits on that lovely sandalwood amber base, and it's really just nice. For some reason, the inclusion of the amber with the sandalwood gives it a sort of smoky effect. I don't pick up a lot on the florals, like a distinct floral. Like I do pick up that there are florals, but I can't pinpoint one over the other. I can't pick out the freesia from the rose and the jasmine. It's just sort of like a floral scent, but it's not a floral I can quite pinpoint down. They're really well blended. It is very sweet, like I said. If you are into sweet, slightly resinousy, almost dusty fragrances that are slightly smoky, this isn't overtly smoky, but it's almost like a wisp of smoke. And it has this sort of dusty effect from the amber sitting on that really lovely sandalwood base. I really like it. It reminds me of like reading a really old book, you know, that sort of dusty page feel that they get. The base is very much like that, and I think that's really beautiful and really sexy. And honestly, I really like the bottle, and I got it for such a steal. It was like, I think I paid like 35 bucks for this bottle, and it's huge. This is the 2.8 fluid ounce, and the bottle is just stunning, like so well made, so well crafted, absolutely gorgeous. I can't get over the quality of the bottle. It's just really, really beautiful. And the scent is really, really nice. This one leans a bit more feminine. I could see a guy rocking this if he's into sweet fragrances, but I do feel like this one leans more on the feminine side. Same with La Belle. I feel like that one pulls a lot more feminine. Obviously, that one is marketed a lot more towards women. The next one that we're going to talk about is one that I am obsessed with, one that I like to bust out during special occasions, but when it is cool out. And that is Boss Bitch by Erin Terrence Hughes. You guys, I love this fragrance. It is so sexy. It is an oud-based fragrance that packs a punch, especially in cold weather. This just screams attention when you walk into a room. If you want to command the presence of a room, and like stand out and not be basic in any way, then Boss Bitch is literally the fragrance for you, because you are going to pack a punch. You are going to make a statement. Everyone's going to be like, who is she, when you walk in the room, because they're going to smell you while you're outside making your way in. You've got notes of neroli, coconut. You've got peach, cherry, chocolate. You've got jasmine as well, sandalwood, Thai oud, Burmese oud, Indonesian oud, sorry, not Indian oud, Indonesian oud, patchouli musk, and there's also a special kind of oud that they harvest for this that takes about a month to process because they use heat and light frequencies. I forget what the technique is called, but I thought that was super unique and super cool, and what makes this fragrance that much more special, it has that added special oud note. And when I tell you, this is a nude fragrance. Like, this is a nude fragrance. It's not skanky. It's not barnyardy. This is a really beautiful, smooth, sexy, deep, resinousy oud that just smells so hot. I sound so stupid saying that. It sounds so hot. Like, this is just sexy. Like, this is like bad BITCH vibes. This screams like girl boss. I rule the world. It's just dense. You get the sweetness from the chocolate, and it plays so beautifully with the cherry. It almost has this slightly boozy effect, at least on my skin. It's really deep. It's really smooth. It's not overtly skanky in any way like oud fragrances can be. In the opening, you get that burst of neroli. This is just really, really nice. A slightly medicinal effect that you get because of all the ouds. Ouds can sometimes have a slightly woody medicinal effect, which I personally really love. But what's so great about this is that it starts to settle after a few seconds, and that sweetness starts to envelop you like a soft cashmere sweater. And it just smells like the most sexy cherry chocolate, slightly coconutty, woody fragrance. It's deep, it's sexy, it's unique. You're definitely, like I said, gonna stand out if you smell like Boss Bitch. It's a gorgeous fragrance, you guys. I honestly can't get over how beautiful this one is, and I'm so happy to have it in my collection. It is one that I cherish, and I try not to use too often, and I reserve this for special occasions in the wintertime. That's how special this fragrance is to me, and I love it. A lot of Erin Terrence Hughes fragrances are really potent. They pack a punch. They're statement pieces, in my opinion. And this one is just a treasure. If you can get your hands on this one, I highly recommend it. It is marketed towards women, but honestly, I feel like a guy could wear this, like really dressed up, and he's gonna smell so divine, so sexy, just so good. Like, it's a good one, you guys. Definitely check this one out if you can. Boss Bitch by Erin Terrence Hughes. It is not, it's not one to be missed. Trust me on that one. Especially if you love oud, and not just that, really smooth, beautiful, well-rounded ouds. Like, it is such a gorgeous oud fragrance. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite oud fragrances in my collection. The next one that we're going to talk about is one that I am obsessed with. I have the older style bottle, but this one is Black Flower Mexican Vanilla by Dame Perfumery. You guys, if you love vanilla and you love incense, then this is the most gorgeous one to add to your collection. This is a gorgeous incensey vanilla that sort of reminds me of, like, I don't know how to describe it. It gives me church feels, if that makes sense. This, every time I wear this takes me to church. I grew up in a very Catholic church, and like the smell of incense was always like a thing I was around, especially in churches, especially when you go to Mexico, which I went to Mexico a lot and went to the churches out there. There is this sort of incensey thing that the priest walks with. I haven't been to the church in years. God, I'm gonna go to hell. But like, this reminds me of incense, and it reminds me of dense, syrupy, very sexy vanilla. It is a weird combo, thinking of church and deep, sexy vanilla. Like, that in itself is probably a blasphemous statement. But like, you guys, this is gorgeous. Vanilla absolute, nutmeg, caramel, tonka bean. You've got musk, you've got sandalwood, lemon, patchouli, grapefruit, jasmine, vetiver, and gardenia. And let me tell you, you guys, this is the most smooth, beautiful, incensey, grown vanilla fragrance. If you are a fan of incense and you are a fan of vanilla, do yourself a favor and get this one. It's deep. It's beautiful. It's just so gorgeous. As it settles down on the skin, and the initial burst, you get a lot of that vanilla, and it's kind of sweetened by that caramel, and there's a hint of spice because of the nutmeg and that tonka bean as well. But as it starts to settle down, the incense really starts to shine through, and it just transforms the fragrance into the most gorgeous sort of incensey vanilla that you will probably ever put your nose on. This is gorgeous. It's so beautiful, and I love wearing this in the wintertime. It just adds this sort of aura of mystery around you and sexiness, and it's just so, so good. Definitely an interesting vanilla, definitely one to keep in mind. This is a really good one, you guys. If you are a fan of vanilla, get this one in your collection. It's a really beautiful one. Black flower, Mexican vanilla. Absolutely stunning. I'm so happy it is cold out so I can bust this one out again. As you can see, I've put a little bit of a dent into mine. It's really, really good. The last one that we're going to talk about is one that I've had for quite a while. I've had this one for a couple years, and I've been like using it for a couple years. I hadn't talked about it because it was one of those, like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to share it right off the bat, because then, you know, everyone starts buying it and then everyone wants to wear it. And this one is just a really good one. This one is by Ex Idolo. I can never say this right. Ex Idolo. Idolo. And it's called Love and Crime. And you guys, my gourmand lovers out there, get this one. Literally get this one. This is compared a lot to Lyra by Xerjoff. And the only reason I haven't bought Lyra is because I do prefer this one over Lyra. Lyra is gorgeous. It gives me very like snickerdoodle cookies with like, what are they called? Orange candied pieces on top of it with a little bit like a drizzle of caramel. This one gives me lemon cake, like the fluffiest, most buttery lemon cake you could have, with delicate powdered sugar topped on top of it and little cacao nibs. Like, this is so, so gorgeous. Like, if you are a fan of gourmand fragrances and you haven't tried this fragrance, do yourself a favor and get yourself a sample. This fragrance is literally gorgeous. This is probably one of my favorite gourmand fragrances. Like, my gourmand lovers out there, get your nose on this. If you want to smell like the most delicious, fluffy, buttery, spongy cake that's topped with like fluffy powdered sugar and little cacao nibs, then this is the one for you. It's got lemon. That burst of lemon is just so delicious and juicy and pairs so well and beautifully with the vanilla in this that it's just so addictive. If you want to intoxicate everyone around you and you really want to stand out and you want to smell like a snack, look no further. This fragrance by Ex Idolo is literally perfection. Trust me. Get a sample of this. Try it out. You're probably going to love it if you're a gourmand lover, and if you collect gourmand fragrances and don't have this one in your collection, go out and get it. Trust me on this one, you guys. This one is really, really good. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about my winter fragrances. Obviously, I have a ton of winter fragrances. I wanted to grab a few of the standout ones, some that I've talked about, some that I haven't really touched on, and just sort of give you my thoughts of what I'm going to be wearing a lot this winter. And yeah, I will link, of course, everything down below if you guys want to contact me. I am on Instagram all the time. Until next time, you guys, I hope you found this video informative and helpful, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.